Let's go. 1, 2, ready, go. Give me action. Tell me action. Hello everyone, I'm Prince Dynamic and I welcome you to another episode of the Prince Thought. So today we meet. Today I have a special guest. He's my boss. Sometimes he's my boy. Or some other times he's my boss. So I have Darasimi in the building.
Hey guys.
And Darasimi is let me do a little introduction. What can I say? Darasimi is everything. Not everything like in my life, but I mean like but like he's everything. What I'm trying to say is that he actually knows a lot of things. So if you're looking for ideas on like some particular kind of things and you feel like this guy has no idea, by the time you throw it at him, you discover that he knows a lot.
Wow.
So
I have to say this. Okay, I'm honored. Wow. So you can say this about me.
No, this one like it's more like we're acting. So all this it's more like acting. So let me just say it's real life. Like after this list, we'll go back to default settings.
Okay.
Exactly. So introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Darasimi Ademola. He's my mentor. Sometimes he's also my boy. I train him here and there. I guide him. I'm really, like you said, I double into some stuffs, marketing, cybersecurity. But aside that, I really do have a passion for leadership. So that's my core strength. Yeah, so that's just that. I'm a cool guy. Gentle.
Anyways, quick tip: if a guy is telling you that he's cool, trust me, he's not. Because if he's cool, he's not gonna be the one to tell us that he's cool.
But you said I'm a good guy.
I said it so they can believe, even though I was lying, because you're not a good guy. So,
okay.
But let's just leave it there. So today, guys, we'll be talking about process, and this is a very important topic. This is something that I feel like the whole world needs to know.
Yeah.
Because we've gotten to a level whereby this generation that we have now, we are in a level whereby people just want things to happen, and nobody's ready to go through the process and all those things. So we'll be talking about process today, and Darasimi is going to be doing majority of the talking. He's going to do most of it. I'll just be backing up like a backup singer.
Okay.
All right. So let me start this way.
Yeah.
To you, Mr. Darasimi.
Okay, Okay.
To you, Mr. Darasimi, what does process actually mean to you? In your own terms. So
in my own terms, really. I think I want to give practical, just to break it down in a practical way. My process is, for example, for a baby to be born, there has to be not sex per se. There has to be a formation in the womb, right? The male and the female head come together. That whole process of 9 months, that is a process. It's just the whole series of things that, for something to happen, series of things that precede the major thing is a process. So I think I also have to differentiate between protocol and process, because people think they are the same thing, but they are not actually the same thing. In what context? Same reproduction. A man and a woman, they have to sleep together. That's the protocol. The process is what happens in the womb, right? So according to scripture, God broke protocol to give birth for Christ to come, but the process was still intact. Do you understand?
Preach faster.
But you get the concept that sometimes you can skip protocol, but process cannot be skipped, but it can be shortened. Do you understand? It can be shortened. Like you know how long you took before you became Prince Dynamic, how long you were in that cooking stage. But someone that comes to learn from you with your experience will go through the process, but might not be the same time at which you took to it, because you have guided him. But that process of thinking that immediately I learn from Prince Dynamic, I make money the next day, it's not going to, you cannot skip that.
Because even Prince Dynamic himself is not making money.
Wait. Okay. Yes.
Not making money.
If you have gigs for him.
So if you have gigs for me, please.
So that's just it, I think.
All right. So thank you very much for that, and you've really said a lot. Even if we decide to end the podcast now, that one is enough for us to hold on to. So you said something about process and how that protocol is different from process and how that we cannot skip process. So you also talked about how a baby is formed in the womb, how that you have to spend the 9 months and all of those things. So from everything you've said now, I think kind of opened my eyes to some other things.
So I gave revelation.
Yes. Who said he gave revelation?
Okay.
So some other things. And that explains why there are always some issues with children that are not up to 9 months.
Like exactly.
Children CS, like maybe after. I don't even think 3 months to survive.
No,
I don't think because
no,
it's not like
babies
has
maybe
formed.
6 months.
Like
they put them to incubator
and all of
but
those
things. Children still somehow they have one that it takes a while before they actually. You're right.
So, that really makes sense to me. So now let's talk about process in another aspect. Now I'm looking at. We're trying to achieve a particular goal. Okay, let's say for instance, this is what I want to do with my life. Let's say in the next. Let me not add years to it because adding years to it now it looks as if I have a plan already. So I want to achieve a particular thing. Why do you think I need to go through that process? Is it not just possible for me to just copy and paste? And now not pasting in terms of following due process. Like the example you gave now, maybe you're trying to learn something from Prince Dynamic and it took himself so and so years to achieve all of those things, and maybe you are going through the same process. Now you are cutting it short. Is it possible, or why is it not possible for us to just copy and paste those things and then it just work down?
Okay, you see, I personally have a problem. Let me just say this here. I have a problem with many online coaches because of one, not just online coach. I think not every big people out there, I think that there needs to be a balance. We have a narrative of always talking about our results so much that we don't talk about our process enough. So, for example, someone made 10 million naira and he wants to create a course. He just puts how I made 10 million in 2 days. Now, everybody sees, okay, so if I register for this course, I can make 10 million in 2 days. But you forget that this same person that is doing that class had like 5-7 years of not making any money, of learning. So why it's important for the process? Because everybody's process, everybody's circumstance is different.
It's different.
You cannot say that because this person has gone through this process, if I learn from him, I will not go through that process. Do you understand? You would have gone through it for me. You know, people say that mentorship is shortening 10 years into 1 year. I agree. Does not mean that because your mentor has made money, you submit to mentorship and you make money in a year. Because there are still the mental building, we are believers too. God will not, no matter how much you learn, true that if you don't have the capacity to handle money and the money comes, it will disappear. So that process is important because you have to build, like you said. Imagine, for example, let's use another example, building. Imagine that you sleep, empty land. The next day, the land is a 10-story building. You no go run, maybe.
No go run.
Me, I go run.
I
will pack my load. I must say, because people should actually run from overnight success. And now, I'm not saying there's anything overnight success. I'm saying that if there's someone that is talking like they made their success overnight, you run from them. Because that is the issue we have in this generation. Many people that we look up to up there, they do not talk about what they did to get there. They talk about where they are at the moment. And result is, I love results. You have to be productive, so there must be result. But great people understand more. They focus more on the process than the result. They don't focus on, because if you're focused on the result, you'll be depressed. Do you understand? So we know when we met and how we were when we met. And if we did not understand process, you said you know that it was difficult at some point. We had our fair share of depression in quote because of we wanted to get this result. So because somehow you can be focused on the result, but process itself, that's where you need to focus on. Okay, I'm doing this thing. You understand that you have seen Prince Dynamic, he has gotten this result, right? So you don't focus on the result. Now, what did Prince Dynamic do to get there? You focus on that. You might not get it the same time he did. In fact, it might be longer sometimes because circumstances differ. For example, you cannot compare your network to the other person's network.
Like someone staying in Kudu.
Do you understand? No offense, but you're right. Do you understand? Or someone staying in Ibadan. You know, Ibadan is from Lagos. Do you understand?
Yeah, exactly.
So, or someone staying in the north. Of course, there's social media, but guess what? Let's be realistic. You cannot compare. So the process is that I must just go to the process, or another person, another way. You just saw somebody put food on, cook the ingredients of food, everything on the table, and you go back and come back and make the food already made. It's not possible. But there are different ways you can make the food cooking faster. There's gas. There are some people that use stove, charcoal, just firewood. Do you understand? But the point is, the old timing is different, but they achieve the same result. Process is the same process, but different timing. But you cannot just run and say, you know what, this food cook itself. Even God himself said does not. He did everything. He made human being from sand. He did not just say, man, come out. They see that process of building. You cannot escape it. And that is why we have many depressed people in our generation. because everybody's focused on results. And this is not saying don't make money. I think you know that people feel like when we say focus on the process, we're encouraging people not to make money. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying be poor, but you need to make money. You're on earth. You cannot. You just need to make money. But we're saying that don't be in a hurry to make money. Don't run and say make money. There's so much that when you don't make money, you're not sad. You know that is really when imagine they tell you that 10 million in 2 days.
10 million in 2 days.
2 years, you never make 10 million.
GNCC.
Yeah, you never make 1 million. What happens then? You will just be like, you'll be frustrated, and that's why in the creative space, many creatives are actually frustrated because they were promised money in certain about gigs. Do you understand? Digital skills, you make money. Nobody talks about aside the skill. There's the business of the skill. Everybody feel, you make money. They play. You learn skill. Now to come market them, go see.
Shishi. All right, so that was really nice. You said something that I also want to buttress on. I made a post, wasn't it yesterday or day before yesterday? I posted something on my Instagram where I was talking about the experiences that I've had as a designer.
Yeah.
Can you believe that some people were actually surprised to know that I've had that experience too? Like I was going through people's comments and I was just smiling to myself like it's this in only
yeah, that's just a fraction of
it's in only and you get that's just a fraction. So I just felt like I need to do a post on that because I've seen a lot of people just reach out to me. They'll be like, oh bro, where do you get your client from?
Yes.
How can I get? And in my head I'll be like, who tells you I get clients? You said they find clients. Who tells you I get clients?
People don't understand that.
But on issue I discovered this one is just personal to me. I'm not trying to stain anyone out there. This is one of the reasons why personally I don't like tech events when it comes to creatives.
Yeah. I
don't like tech events. Why? And I have a friend like that, sweet boy in me. I'm just going to see this video. So I have a friend like that. We had a conversation on this matter. How that this event, I'm not saying they are bad events. I'm not saying you should not attend. But we don't apply enough wisdom. You know, there's one thing about learning. When you learn, it's not everything that they teach you that's actually useful. There are some things that you just need to like pick the one that is pick the one that is kind of important for you and leave the shaft alone. Yeah. So but this generation now we are quick to pick everything. You go to a tech event, you hear somebody saying, oh, so I made 10 million naira just yesterday and I was speaking to another client. He said he has a gig of 1 billion naira for me. So I am telling you not to charge, understand your value, know your value. And get now let's look at the place of knowing your value. This person that is telling you to know your value, he spent about 10 years to get to that position. Now let's leave how long. This same person we are talking about in terms of skills and expertise, you are even nowhere in competition with this guy. Like this guy can never even see you as a competitor because you'll be like this one from where. So now someone is telling you know your value and you just wake up one morning and you tell the client that you know what, this work that I told you I'm going to do for let's say 50,000 naira for instance, I will not do it for 50,000. I want to do it for 1 million naira.
Do you understand?
And you'll be like, the person will be like, are you serious? 1 million naira? How? And okay, I'm not interested in this stuff. You don't feel like I'm not getting the client. I'm not. So many of us, like majority of us, this is the problem that we get. It's not like we don't even see people to reach out to us business wise. Exactly. Sorry, we are talking about business here. I'm just trying to relate it to everything that I said. Now you've forgotten that it's a place of process, and you've forgotten that there are so many things. Now the place of learning the skill, growing your expertise is also a process on its own. Yes. But we leave all of those parts. We focus on the aspire to Maguire, and we leave the important things. True. We don't know that process is very important. Personally, for me, in my own field, I see a lot of people who do the same thing that I'm doing, and I feel like, oh, wow, this guy is good. This guy is good. And when I ask them, sometimes when I even question them, and I be like, how long have you been doing? Like, well, I just started 2 years ago. 2 years. You get local. Sometimes we say, we don't do since when we did school that time. Shishi. We never still reach this level. But now, everything is available for you. But the place of process still remain. Still. Just like when we were chatting yesterday, and I was saying that people have forgotten that process itself is a process. Fact. Yeah. Following process itself is one of the process of achieving something. But this generation of just now, this is not to banter anybody, but it is just what we all know. Yeah. That this generation we are always looking for shortcuts to achieve things, which is not proper enough. So, let's talk about like your own personal experiences. Like, just like, can you share like a time where you felt like, oh, you wanted to skip a particular process, but at the end of the day everything came down crashing, and you had to go over the process again? If you have any of those things, you can share.
So currently I'm into cybersecurity, right? I've not just gotten a gig yet too. So why did I go into the tech space? If I had focused on the branding and marketing side of things, I would have gone more than I've gone right now. Well, now I'm back into it because I wanted to move into tech space, but I've forgotten that. And this is for every techie out there. I know you're learning a tech skill, but you need money to eat. So while you're moving into coding, anything you want, any tech, whether coding or non-coding skill, you need something to put food on your table. It might be that your little skill or that 9 to 5 that you are too big to do, that you should go back to doing, at least to put on your table. So now, I still love tech. I'm still in the tech space, but you know what? Because I need to eat and I have strength in marketing, I'm doing it as well. That's in fact my major source of income is social media marketing. That's what I do at the moment. I wanted to skip it. I know what everybody said with tech. I think it was other discussion that he said, go and learn web development. And you know what I tell people now? Anybody now tell you, don't go and learn web development because it is saturated. Nobody is willing to open their space to an entry level techie.
Yes.
At all. So you that are learning the tech skill today, you might not get a job in the next, I'm sorry to say, 3-4 years. Do you understand? So that 3-4 years, that's a process. What do you do during that process? While you're learning the tech skill, like I did, like I'm doing, I'm focused on my strength. What I knew for some years now.
Yes.
That's what I'm doing
now.
I wanted to, do you understand? To fund my, I wanted to, you know what, I know do this thing. Everybody said tech was the way. I went into tech. I learned web dev. If I had known, I would not have invested money on web dev. I'll just focus on cybersecurity. Because web dev is currently saturated. So every Tom, Dick and Harry right now is going into coding. So it's becoming, I'm not saying that run away from saturated industries. I'm saying it's wiser to focus on industries that, you know what, this is for anybody that is thinking of techie. Cybersecurity there's a huge job shortage globally in cybersecurity, very huge. Like, it's not for the next 2 years per se. I'm saying think 3-4 years. Just understand that if you have built 3-4 years as a cybersecurity expert, even if you have not gotten a job, but you have spent 4 years in the game, you're likely to get a job than someone that just finished cybersecurity in the last 3 months. So I wanted to skip because of, you know what, I don't need, let me just learn this, let me forget cyber and branding, marketing, because then I was not making, know that time that we met now, I was still struggling.
I was the only one struggling now.
Don't mind you, we were still struggling, really. But I think that process, like I said earlier, I really wish everybody that if you have influence out there, talk about your results. You need to give people something to look up to, a target. But beyond that, talk about how you got there. Don't create lust for money. That, you know, like you said, you cannot expect someone that has years in the game and is good and has experience. You cannot be charging the same. Forget all this. Know your value. Know your value. But you need to. Nobody that is a creative or a techie, you would have done free jobs.
A lot.
It's not possible that you say, no, I'm not doing.
Sometimes it's even the free job that's going to get you what you're looking for.
My babe, the job she has right now is because of most of them are going from one company that she's still volunteering for till today. Just a volunteer, and that's in one volunteer job opened her up to this. So I'm not saying. So don't think that I say I'm too big to volunteer. I know volunteering is stressful and it comes with its own, bad side. But if you can, don't skip process. There's no Bishop Oyedepo said something. He said, if you love shortcuts, you cut your life short. You can't.
Preach, assistant pastor.
You can't. You cannot skip. As in, okay, people try to skip it, but it does not last. Every great man, the richest man in the world, they will tell you that they failed several times. Look at Elon Musk. How many times he has failed? Who knew Jeff Bezos some 15 years ago? And he had failed. Everybody had failed at one point in time or the other. But the issue is because many talk about the success more than the failures. And someone said there's more lessons in failures than success.
Than success, true.
But because everybody's looking for that your successful friend, you claim to him, your friend has money, but you don't ask him, Oga, where you don't fail before.
Where you don't fail.
Tell me.
Where you don't do.
Do you understand? We've failed. We've had our I don't care how big you are. You cannot tell me that from day one to date,
smooth,
there's something wrong. There's something wrong. Really.
Person will be dying soon. That's really nice. I just thought of something while you were sharing all of these things, and I was remembering how I got to this little stage that I've gotten to. So I remember I reached out to like a mentor. I'm going to call out his name because I'm going to like to add this picture to this video, and he's going to be proud of what I'm doing as well. So I reached out to Game Busy a while ago. Sometimes you can call him Game Boy. So he's like a media head in church. Okay. So I reached out to him a particular time because he's in my space and he's actually doing well.
Okay.
He has a car, he has a family. I'm like,
okay,
this same, and he's not even looking like in the next 2 years or 5 years I'm even going to get to that such position. So I reached out to him a particular time. And now let me tell you this. As at this time that I was reaching out to this boss of mine, quite a number of people already know Prince Dynamic.
Okay.
They're already familiar with the name. So they're like, oh, this guy is doing well. But I mean, from my mind, say, well, it's far from me. So I reached out to him and I was like, okay, boss, can you tell me how to go about all of these things? Like, how are you able to develop yourself to this particular level where you can just call things out and it will happen? You can just make things happen. Like, you're not struggling. Fine, I know that you also have
your fair share of...
Yes, and you're also looking at getting to a particular level too. But this particular level that you are, how are you able to get there? And he said something. Now, I'm talking about my space. So I'm not generalizing. I'm just sharing my own personal experience, my space. So he said, currently, you're a freelancer, right? I was like, yes, I'm a freelancer. He said the first thing to have stable income, if you're not getting steady gig, bro, get a job. That's what he told me. And trust me, after that time, for about a month, I did not reach out to him again. Why? I was angry.
Are you serious?
I was angry. I was like, what kind of advice is that? Get a job. It's like, these bros don't know me. You don't know my name.
You don't know who I am.
You don't know my status online. You don't know how many followers I have on IG. But he said that in there. He said, get a job. Now, what this job is going to do for you is going to build sustainability for you. You know that, okay, even though you want to work on other things, but at least you have something
this amount coming in
monthly. So I sat down a particular time, and one thing about me, one of the things I'm grateful to God for, one of the, should I say, personal value that I have in myself that I'm grateful to God for, is the fact that even when someone is telling me something, even when you piss me and I'm angry, I still take it. So I can go back and think about it. And when I think about it properly and I feel like, it makes sense, I'll let you know that it makes sense. So you'll not be surprised that this guy that was insulting me the other day that was telling me that it's rubbish, I said, nah, it makes sense to you. I'm just that kind of person. I will not just take those advice and just
go. Vex and
just go and now even eventually apply it but I will not give you the credit.
True.
So I used to come back and so I thought of it and I reached out to him. I was like, okay, you know what, I'm going to try to apply for jobs. So I applied for about 5 different jobs. In fact, the one I got, the one I'm working in, I can't remember applying.
When you applied for it?
I can't remember. I just got the interview. They're like, okay, we're interviewing you on a Friday, blah, blah, blah. I was like, they also can you guys change the time schedule for another? So they're like, okay, how about Monday? I was like, okay, fine. So I went there. Funny thing, that Monday morning, I didn't even want to go. But thank God for the friends that I had. They were like, even if you take this job or not, just at least honor the fact that they called you for an interview. Go for the interview. So I just dressed up and I went for the interview. On getting that, this place to make sense, like from the aesthetics, so I've not seen the internal structure, but from the aesthetics, I was like, okay, it's making sense. This is the island, and Lekki for crying out loud. Imagine walking on the island. You tell someone I walk in Lekki, you know what it means. For those of you that are in Lagos, you understand. So eventually, during the interview, I did my part and had a conversation with the HR, and she was like, it makes sense. Okay, you're going to resume so and so time. I was happy. Bro, that's not I'm going to do. Don't clap for me. I don't change that for you. So I got the job. But where am I going to? Everything that I am today is by the grace of God. And now I'm not saying and I don't want to share God's glory, but I am grateful to God because I followed that advice that He gave me.
Yes.
Now I had something stable. I was no longer hungry.
At least
so every other thing. It was not easy for me to tell a client and say, you know what, I will not take 200k for this job.
This is
the amount I'm going to take. And now me saying that, I'm not saying that because I have salary that is coming month-end. I said it because I know that, okay, with this level that I am, with this skill that I have, I'm not supposed to be taking this amount. So I can reject it because I know that when I reject it, there's something I can fall back on.
Exactly.
Not rejecting blindly when I know that there's no food to eat.
Better to go hungry.
Better to go hungry. You just die.
Facts.
And when you die, okay, even if you continue seeing the Instagram, a time will come whereby you never even remember my handle again.
True.
You don't even remember the handle, talk less of the name, or remember the person behind it. So I got the job. The pay was not making sense to me then, but I was doing it because it was sustaining me.
Yes, you had a stable.
Now I was growing myself. In process of it, I think it was just 6 months. I got promoted. My role was changed.
Yeah.
The money doubled.
Fast.
I was just following that process. It was making sense. And now I've acquired a lot of things because I had something stable. So every other stuff that was coming in for me, I could use for something else.
Yes.
So when I see people and they be like, no, I cannot take full-time role. In my head, I knew that what I did might not work for you. Sometimes you don't necessarily have to do a full-time role to get to that in that kind of career though. But what I'm saying is everybody's process is different.
Okay, so based on what you said, I think we should tell people this, that process can be different, but the principles are the same thing.
Okay.
So for example, we're talking about the childbearing situation, right? Now there are people that actually now form baby outside of the womb.
Outside the womb.
Do you understand? But guess what? The process of baby, the female egg and the male sperm coming together, it still applies there. So the principle is still the same thing. So forget, maybe not forget, but based on what he said and I've said about, maybe you think, okay, this is not what you can relate to. Leave that aside. Think about the principle you can extract from it and focus on that. Don't let how do I say it? What we've said so far affect. No. The principles are the same. The principles of process, and it might be different. For example, your family might be different from my family.
True.
Do you understand? So the people I might know, you might not know them. You might your location differs. So imagine that, for example, a designer in Ibadan that grew in Ibadan, that has Ibadan connects. Okay, I don't say Ibadan. Okay.
My friends is designing the
a designer is not in Lagos, so I'm sorry to say this, but that's just the honest truth. Lagos businesses will pay more than most states. Do you understand? True. So if you grew up in Ibadan or any state outside Lagos, it's difficult to charge so much if your network is
because the environment itself will condition the way you think.
You think say you won't do flyer for Osun State. You can't say I want to do one flyer for
25k.
They will look you say flyer
Melo.
Don't charge 1.5
to buy 1.5. Even in Lagos yourself gone, you get to some places you do for like 500.
So do you understand? So look, so process can be different because of circumstances differ, but I'm saying that the principles are the same thing. Everybody should go through process. Don't and like I also said earlier, that anybody that don't follow anyone that doesn't talk about process. Results are important. They must have results, but they should not focus on their results alone. That okay, if a guy is a billionaire, let him talk about how he became a billionaire. That celebrity,
all
that influencer.
The downtimes I had to.
Exactly, thank you. All the downside that he had, the times where he lost some money, he invested wrongly, that he was arrested. I like this man, Stephen Akintayo, he's real estate, GTEx owns. The man talks about the process a lot. He always talks about it, how he started, how. So you're encouraged to follow his story because okay, so this man that is rich today, he was actually suffering that his wife's father did not want to.
Worse than your own situation yesterday.
So I want to focus on that, not someone that is just coming out. See me in my Lamborghini today, Monday Lamborghini, Tuesday. Do you understand? Don't run with people like that. Focus on people that okay, they have results, but they also talk about that process to really help you to save you from depression. Honestly, to save you.
Thank you very much for that, Mr. Darasimi. Why the other? So why the other? All right, so we've come to the end of this session. Wow. But before I wrap it up, I want to ask if there's one or two things that you like to share before you go to your house.
Really, I know. Let me just say I'm honored. Thank you so much for having me here.
I say me a conclusion. You say you're honored.
Yeah, but really, I think that every one of us should be careful of social media lies. I really think that we should, including if you are up there, be careful what you post online so that you don't mislead people. If you are not up there, be careful what you take in so that you don't deceive yourself. I saw a video by this. There's this female techie, Miss Techie. She showed one video of how you can enlarge your hips and reduce your waist. So she was like, so be careful what you believe is true. Personally, right now, this is not for everybody. Right now, I'm trending less on social media, intentionally, including WhatsApp, because it's just intentional. We have taken in a lot of nonsense as content that we don't know that it affects our mindset. It affects the way we look at things, the way we approach things. So don't give into a life of many people that are depressed because of social media. What?
As in,
When you say, so I was listening to one sermon or so, one Lawrence, so some interview between the Bami lawyers and Kodo, was talking about how almost 22 is currently being pressured now to get married. Now, it's not bad to marry at that age, but the fact that at 22 you're already getting pressured. Do you understand? So, go through process in your own. You don't have to announce your process. And also, for some persons, you might need to actually create, I don't want to say content, but your process can help somebody else.
True.
I watched one woman out there, what's her name now? Temi Ajibewa or something. She spoke about how that 4 years ago, 5 years ago, was in debt of 240 million because she invested in maybe Forex or crypto or something that went down the drain. So right now, this is how many years later that she has a debt. She has maybe 65 million left to pay. That people took her to police, they embarrassed her family, but today she's still in the process, but she spoke about it. Many people were encouraged from it. So sometimes your own process might be helpful to somebody else. So don't audit, but be sure. And for those of you that used to help, be careful that you don't help someone so much that you bring them out of process. Some people, you are giving everybody free money. Oga, calm down. Some people that are giving free money, man, you're just maybe cutting short their process.
True.
Let them go. Some people,
giving them fish.
You know that some people, if they didn't allow us to go to process, we were helped all the way. We might not be where we are today.
True.
If people imagine that your person that asks for advice give you free job.
True.
Do you understand? You say, come and work for me.
Like that's how easy it is.
Do you understand? You have to go through that step. When my brother wanted to, when he finished university, he went to meet my uncle as general. You know what my uncle said? Me, I was expecting that.
Job done day as far as.
My uncle said, meanwhile, in the family we start small. That advice, what made me going to fish farming. They supported, of course, but don't think that you have Baba Konibikon. Even if you might have.
True.
Right? Even if you might have, don't rely on them. Go through your own process. Your father might be an important person. I'm not saying you must struggle or suffer. No. I'm not saying that. Davido went through his own process.
Yeah. Alright, everyone. So we've come to the end of this episode, and let me say a big thank you to my boy here. For coming to the show. Yeah. So we've heard it all, and that's just our own contribution and all that we have to say regarding process. So if you feel like what we are saying is not completely accurate, it's fine. We just, like we said, it's from our own point of view.
True.
So feel free to pick out what is important for you. Take the ones that is important, and what you feel like is not necessary or it does not even sound useful, just let it be. So thank you very much once again. Darasimi, my boy. I know that some other time I'm also going to bring you again on this episode. But before I'll bring my babe. I mean our babe.
Yeah. Me, I'm not like you, so.
All the best, Oga. Alright, peace out, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, please subscribe.
Subscribe.
Like,
follow comment on Instagram.
It's solid.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, my boy.
Bye bye.